There are so many amazing sports stories all across the Kansas City area. This one features Tad Carpenter. Tad's a local designer and businessman whose Kansas City Chiefs fandom came full circle in 2019 when he was asked by the Chiefs to design a poster for the home opener in Week 3, the first of a season-long Arrowhead Poster Series. This immense honor for Tad came nearly 30 years after he participated in a ticket design contest organized by the Chiefs when Tad was in grade school. His design, then created with colored pencils, won him season tickets for the 1991 Chiefs season. Here's Tad's story. Hey everybody, Allie Trost here, joined by Tad Carpenter of Carpenter Collective, also the first artist, I guess artist is a right word to use here? Okay.
Yeah.
Who designed the very first poster for the poster series that Chiefs are doing this year for the 2019 season. Tad.
Hi.
I saw a Facebook post that you tweeted out that your dad posted about your kind of full circle moment when you got chosen to design that poster. So let's take a walk back and kind of
memory lane, if you
memory
will.
lane.
Yeah. There was a contest to draw the season tickets for the Chiefs, and in doing so, you would win free season tickets for the year. The Chiefs would honor you on the 50-yard line of a game. You get to go in the locker room during halftime. I don't think they would do that now. Like bringing children into the locker room during a live NFL football game, probably not the greatest idea, but it was amazing. And they even sent a football player to my school to do an assembly. And this is if you won. So I said I love to draw. Why not try this? Like let's give this a shot. So I did, and I won, and I did. I got the season tickets. They sent a player to my school for an assembly. I don't know if anybody's a longtime Chiefs fan. It was the '91 season. So the Chiefs player that came to my school was wide receiver named Rob Thomas, if anybody remembers him back in the day. Not the guy that sang with Santana, but like the Chiefs.
Darn.
Right, I know. We'd be so lucky to have Mr. Matchbox 20 show up at my grade school. But like, so he came to my school in a red Ferrari, drove me around in a Ferrari, had an assembly at my school, and I'll never forget it because it was that first time that I really experienced that if I make people things, they will give me things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy cow, this is amazing. Yeah, that day will always mean so much to me as a creative person, as an artist, that it really started to make sense to me what art and commerce meant and how we can provide a service to people and what we get in return. And as a huge sports fan my whole life, as a lifelong Kansas Cityan, it doesn't get any better than working for the Chiefs. And so I got those season tickets when I was in 1991. We had them for over 20 years. Same seat that I had when I was in third grade. Me and my dad went to every game. And it's amazing. And then so recently, getting a call from the Chiefs and saying, hey, we're familiar with your work. We love what you do. We are doing a poster series, and we'd love for you to do the very first one for the home opener with Baltimore, which was a great game.
Yeah.
And so that was really, really special to be able to kind of full circle it with the Chiefs and do some design work for them.
Aside from this amazing opportunity to design that season ticket, become a season ticket holder for that, winning that design, maybe in that season, what was your favorite game that you got to go to?
Oh my gosh. The game that stands out, I mean, there's so many. I mean, I've been to a lot of Chiefs games, and we sat in the same seat all the time. It was, I believe it's section 117. It's right behind the goalpost on the side of where the TV Pac-Man used to be, if everyone kind of remembers that. The game that I'll always remember, and I think a lot of Chiefs fans will probably remember, is the game when we played the 49ers and Steve Young came to town, and Derek Thomas sacked Steve Young, I believe, for a safety in the end zone, and we were like 10 rows away from that safety that DT got on Steve Young. I can remember just how loud the crowd was and how special it was. I was a huge, and by was I mean still am, a huge Christian Okoye fan. So like anytime the Nigerian Nightmare was on the field, I was really excited as a 10-year-old Tad. And fast forward that to modern day, that doesn't go away, I don't think.
Right.
I was literally walking down in Westport like a year and a half ago, and literally Christian Okoye was walking past me, and like a total nerd, I like had to grab him and say, Mr. Okoye, I'm very sorry. I'm a grown-ass man, but like I am such a big fan of you and as a football player and this whole story. And he was like so nice and gracious and just like kind of laughed, and we kind of told some stories for a second. Yeah. And I think that's what sports is about. I think Kansas City's special that way, that like people are very outgoing and very kind to one another. And I feel like for the most part, we've been very lucky to have athletes that support that in our community. So those are just some little stories that I know I'll always kind of remember.
Tad, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
And where can people find your work?
Oh, you can find it all over. We're lucky to have our office in the Crossroads right here in Kansas City. But our website is Carpenter Collective. On Instagram and Twitter is Carpenter Collective, and you can see a lot of the work and things we're doing here locally, but all over the country, right here in Kansas City.
So give Tad a follow, check out Carpenter Collective, and be on the lookout for potentially a season ticket design for the Chiefs for maybe 2020.
There you go. Start hitting up Kansas City Chiefs for me, please. I'm starting this whole kind of campaign to design the season ticket for them again. So.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Would it be surprised?
We should show it. If you zoom in, we got the